Hello everyone, welcome again to today's video. So today we are going to make this beautiful beaded basket, or it's a beaded bag if you want to call it. And this is the most easiest and fun to weave. Thank you for your time, especially to my new subscribers and to my new members. Thank you for the love and support. So please don't forget to turn on your notifications for new videos that I'll be uploading so you don't miss on it. Let's get into the video. So I have my beads here to work with. These are black pearls, 8mm black pearl. This is in 8mm. And this is spaghetti bead, opaque white. This is opaque white, spaghetti bead. This is how it looks like. And I have here some fasted bead, black. It's also in 8mm, and I'll be using it later because I don't have enough black bead. So I have here my 50-pound beading wire. This is how it looks, and my little ply to cut any loose thread. Okay, now I'm starting with a new cut thread, and we are going to start with 4 beading. So I put 4 beads on the line, and I'm going to cross the other end of my line into the last bead and pull. Like this. 4 beading. Now on both lines, I add one bead, and I'm going to cross both ends into the 3rd bead. This bead right here. I'm going to cross both ends into this bead and pull down. So this is how it's looking like. This is how it's looking like. And again, I'm going to repeat the same thing again. One bead on each line. And I'm going to cross both ends of the line into this bead. So now we have 3 flowers done. 3 flowers. But let's continue. Again, I'm repeating the same thing over here. One on each line, and I'm going to cross both ends of my line into this one and pull. This is how it's looking like. So I'm going to continue to make 9. This is 4. I'm going to make 9. And now I'm going to turn on this line, 3 bead. Again, I'm going to add 3 bead to this line. And I'm going to use the other line to go through the last bead and pull. This line into the next bead. And I'll add 2 bead. Cross the other line into the last bead and pull. This line into the next bead. And I'll be adding 2 bead. I'm going to repeat the same thing. This time I'm going to go through the next bead, and I'll be adding 2 bead. And this is how we are going to continue to the end. Continue in each bead to the end. So now I'm going to go through the last bead over here on this row. I'm going through the last bead, this line, 2 bead. And now we complete the 2nd row. So I'm going to start with the next row. So we are going to start with the 3rd row. This line, 3 bead. going to continue over here again, this line into the next bead. And I'm adding 2 beads over here. Into the next bead. 2 beads. Next bead, go to the next bead. Two bead. I'm adding 2 bead over here. This is the second one, 2 bead. I'm just going to continue to the end. Now this line, 2 bead. Okay, now our third row too is complete. This is how the third row, we done with third row. We are going to continue to make 13 rows of this, 13. So it's going to be 10, 13. This is how it's looking like. So continue to make yours and I'll continue to make mine. I'm going to do it off camera and we'll come and meet here. This is how it's completed. This is how it's looking like. This is 10 by 13. I make 13 rows over here. This is big, okay? This is the bag is going to be medium size. It's not a little bit. So this is pasted bead I'm going to use to continue. Because I don't have the round bead, I ran out. So I'm going to use this because it's also 8mm. I'm going to use it around the bag. And I'm going to use this opaque color white spaghetti bead. We are going to build on this base that we made. So this is a fresh line that I cut. I'm going to go through the corner bead over here. This bead in the corner. This one. This is the number of bead I'm adding to the line to start with. I'm going to cross the last bead with my other line and pull. Like this. So now I'm going to go through the next bead, this line into the next bead. And I'll be adding black and spaghetti bead. I'm going to go to the next bead. And I'll add 2 bead. This is how we are going to go. I'm going to go through the next bead. This is how we are going to bead around the edge of this base that we created. 2 bead. Into the next bead. I add 2 bead over here too. So I'm going to continue to the end. And this is how it's looking like. And from here we are going to continue round the shape that we have created. So over here you just have to continue weaving. Continue, go to the next bead and continue adding the bead until you go round the edge. You weave round. Okay, now our first row is complete, and we are going to build on it. So over here I'm going to step up to build on this one, this first row that we made. I'm going to build on it. So here I'm going to put my line into this bead, and this bead, this spaghetti bead on the side. I'm going to go through it and pull. So the number of bead we need over here is only one bead to complete this first row. Now we are going to start the second row of this. I'm going to start the second row. This line, 3 bead. This one line into the next bead. Two bead. So I'm going to go through the next bead. And I'll be adding 2 bead. So we are going to continue the same way we did for the first row. We are going to continue the same thing over here too until we complete this row, the second row. Continue round until you complete the second row. So continue to do yours, and I'll do mine too off camera, and we'll come back and meet here. So this second row too is coming to an end. I'm going to step up again. So I'm going to go through this middle bead over here. I'm going to go to the middle bead and this side bead. Go through this spaghetti bead over here. And the number of bead, I'm going to add 1 bead. And that will enable me to step up and build another row on top of this one. So we complete the second row, and we are going to start the third row. I'm going to start again with this line, 3 bead. And I'm going to go through the next bead over here, this line, this bead. And I'm adding 2 bead. The same way we start the first, second row, we are going to continue with the third row, round and complete. This is how it's looking like, and I'm going to go through the next bead again. Add 2 bead. Now into the next bead. 2 bead. We are going to continue like this. The first and the second row, we are going to continue the same way until we are going to build on it 6 times. We're going to make 6 rows. So this is how it's looking like. I'm just going to continue to build on this. We made 2 rows already. We are going to start the 3rd, 4th, 5th, and 6th. We make 6 rows in total. This is how it's looking like. This is the 6th row. It is done. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So over here, what I'm going to do, starting from this corner bead on the top over here, I'm going to create a line. I'm going to create a line with the black bead on the edge. I'm going to go to the next bead and add 2 beads. Next bead, 2 beads. And this is how it's looking like. Next bead, we are going to continue to the end. We are going to continue into the next corner. 2 beads. This is how it's looking like, the weave is looking like. It's 4/4 beading. So we are here and we are going to pick up our last bead in the corner over here. I'm going through the corner bead and the same line, this one, I'm adding 2 beads. I'm going to step up over here. This line, 3 beads. I'm going to go through the next bead and I'll be adding 2 beads over here. 2 beads. Into the next bead, 2 beads. Over here too, we are going to continue to the end. Go through the next bead and add 2 beads. So continue to the end. This is how it's looking like. And we are going to build on this one. I'm going to go through the last bead over here into the last bead. And this line, I'm adding 2 beads. 1 opaque and 1 black bead. So I can step up over here and build on it. This is the lead we are building over here on the bag. This is how it's looking like. This bead, this line, 3 beads. This line into the next bead. Two bead. Into the next bead. So we are going to continue and make 4 rows of this. 4 rows, continue the same way. So the 4 row is done, and this is our lead for the bag. This is how we are going to use to close the bag, like this. So now I'm going to make bolts. I'm going to make bolts on this bag, 1, 2, 3, of this bead in the middle, I'm going to work with this 3 middle to create a belt over here. So this into this bead, I find the middle and I pick 3 bead in the middle. I'm starting with 3 bead over here. I'm going to go to the next bead. And now add 2 bead. Now into the next bead again. This is the last bead because we are taking 3. I'm going to go through. This is 2 bead, I add to the line. Go through the 3rd bead, you add 2 bead. And we are going to build on this first base. So this 3 bead. I'm going to go through the next bead and add 2 bead. This line into the next bead. And now add 2 bead. Going through the last bead, and this line 2 bead. This one 3 bead. Go to the next bead. I'm going to go through the next bead. Now I'll be adding 2 bead. And go to the last bead. And the same line I'm going to use, go through this bead, I'm going to add 2 bead. This is what we are going to continue to make 15 rows of this. I'm making 15. So this is 3 we make already. Now we have to make 12 more. I'm making 12. This is how it's looking like. This is the belt we are creating over here. And this is how the belts look like. This is 15 rows I made in total. 15. I'm going to put a button over here. So I'm going to use this wood bead. This wood bead I'm going to use. And I use these 12mm pearls. I put my line through the pearls and I'm going to pull both ends through this wood base so it can block the way of the line not to slip out. So this bead, I'm going to cross both ends of my line into that bead. Find the middle. You have to find the middle on the bag. This is the middle bead that I'm crossing my both ends of the line into. Then I'm going to pull and pull tight. When I pull, I'm going to weave the rest of the line into the bead and make sure it's well secured enough before I trim it off. If you are pulling, you pull tight and make it nice and neat. This is how it's looking like. So I'm going to make a loop on the belt so we can use it to hook it onto the bead. So this is the bead. So this is my line into this middle bead over here. I'm pulling through the middle bead. I'm just going to string pearls on it, the number of pearls. If you string it, measure it and see if it fits. If you can go around it easily, then you know you have the perfect number. So I'm just going to string a number of it and make sure it's going to fit around my bead. I'm going to go round into each of every bead, go round again and tie. So I'm going to go round. So what I'm going to do here, I'm going through all my bead all round, making sure it's well secured enough. So I'm going through all of it, and I'm going to cross both ends into this middle bead over here. So this one I cross to the opposite direction, and this one too, I'm going to cross it into the same bead to the opposite direction. Like this. Okay, now it's firm, so let's see if this loop is going to fit. Perfect. I'm going to use the same wood bead for the handle, these ones. So I'm just going to go ahead and string this bead on my line. I'm just going to string it to see the number of bead that I need. This is how it's looking like. The holes are a little bigger. I'm going to use this. I'm deciding to use this bead. This is 10mm pearls as a spacer bead in between the wood bead. So I'm just stringing. I realize the bead spacer is not working because the holes of this wood bead is too large. That is just running through the holes, so I didn't use it anymore. I'm just hooking it onto the next bead, the second bead on the other side, to attach the handle on it. And this is how it's looking like. So beautiful, so beautiful. Over here, this is how it's looking like, the wooden bead. And this is the side of the bag. You can hook it on the side too. If your top is not strong enough to hold the handle, just hook it on the side, both sides of the bag. And this is how it's looking like. This is the bag. Very, very beautiful, very elegant. You can take it anywhere. You can take this bead bag and it can hold a lot. This is a medium size. This is not a small bag. So this bag can hold a lot, and like I said, if you can hook the handle on the side of the bag, both sides of the bag, you don't have to do it on the top. So this is how the bag is looking like. It can hold a lot. It can hold your phone, your purse, your car key. This can hold your everyday items. Thank you for watching. Thank you for your time again. Please remember to subscribe and turn on your notification for any new video. And also remember to share with friends and family. Thank you, and I'll see you in my next video. Bye.